Listening to Mara's crazy laugh, Sian felt like she was in a horror movie, terrified and scratching the floor like a cat on a hot tin roof. The man across the room heard the sounds and could only sigh. Well, talk about being unlucky. Sian didn't quite get it, but she noticed Mara seemed to be on some sort of medication, tossing and turning for several nights like a pancake. All she could think about was surgery with the director, and every night around 11 p.m, a nurse took a patient to the operating room. Strangely enough, those patients disappeared into thin air, which sent chills down Sian's spine, making her want to bawl for the exit. The cameras everywhere made escape impossible. The nurse taught Sian a lesson, leaving her bruised. When Dongjia came to serve dinner and saw Sian looking pathetic, she felt a twinge of sympathy, but hey, she was just a new. Hospital rules required guardian approval for discharge, leaving Dongjia helpless. The next day, Maru told Sian why Xiuya next door knew how to escape. Sian felt excited and knocked on the wall to reach her neighbor, but Xiuya was preoccupied with strategies. Morris whispered, SHH, there's a hidden secret passage right here indeed. This was it. The mental hospital shared a unisex bathroom, so now Sian got what Xiuya meant. She was totally against it, but with escape in mind, she walked into the bathroom the next morning, only to find a nightmare waiting for her. Xiuya informed Sian that the only escape route was in the director's office, and the secret code was 4 4s. In return, she wanted Sian to scratch her back in the future, but instead, Sian responded by giving her a bite, which echoed like a dinner bell for the director. The door didn't budge, the code was still wrong. Xiuya totally pulled a fast one on her. The director loomed ominously just behind Sian. Sian panicked, but then Mara showed up. She hinted that she visited the director every night, so she should know the code, but as soon as Sian mentioned it, Mara turned to leave. Yet she turned back, pressing a button on the wall. Sian quickly imitated her, desperately hitting the numbers. The door opened and Sian rushed in to search the director's room. She opened a wardrobe and found a secret tunnel. But just then the sound of the keypad echoed, and the director was about to walk in. Thinking quickly, Sian dived into the tunnel, which seemed to stretch into the abyss. She had to clutch onto a bar and inch down slowly, but her back hit a protruding bar, piercing her arm and sending blood flowing like a horror movie sequel. She winced in pain, but remained silent, though the sharp-eyed director heard the sound of blood dripping like a ticking clock. Thus she approached the wardrobe, and the director's furious shout echoed. Sian was startled, her hands slipping, and she fell straight down the tunnel. Thankfully, she didn't land splat. She got up and ignored her injuries, moving along the tunnel for an escape, only to find the path was intricate but lit up like a creepy underground parking lot, leading her further down. Down and down she went, deeper and deeper, like a demented rabbit hole endlessly spiraling downwards. Sian dashed in one direction and finally made her escape. To her shock, she discovered the horrifying Angel Asylum was hidden inside the World Trade Center, just a stone's throw from where she was kidnapped. She looked at the bustling crowd and tried to call for help, but with her bloody appearance, the crowd just thought she was another nutcase. Just then, a van pulled up from the asylum, and 2 nurses jumped out, heading straight for Sian. Terrified, she turned and fled, but injured Sian was no match for 2 burly men. Seeing they were closing in, she made a reckless dash. She ran right into the street, trying to flag down a car, but to no avail. Just when she was ready to give up, a police car came into view. Sian leaped towards it like a drowning woman clutching a life buoy, making the nurses halt their pursuit. She hopped in, bruised all over. The officers wanted to take her to the hospital. Sian thought, "I'm saved." But after a phone call, the cops exchanged strange glances and took her to a secluded spot, leaving Sian utterly confused. As soon as she stepped out, those 2 nurses lunged at her. Sian summoned all her strength, finally escaping that hellhole. If she went back in, it would mean curtains. She stopped resisting, hoping the officers would save her. But the police were in cahoots with those goons. As the elevator doors closed, Sian felt complete despair. The director would surely make an example. She had already forged a death certificate and incident report. What awaited Sian was the hospital's most brutal fate for vivisection. Sian was so scared she couldn't speak as she was strapped to the operating table, while the director gleefully prepared to borrow all her organs. Sian was so terrified she was speechless. Bound to the table, the director was ready for a little DIY organ harvesting. First, take out insides, then add tumors and gut. No big deal, it'll be done soon. Don't think about anything else, just hand over the tumors already. The doctor clamped Sian's mouth shut. The doctor pumped anesthetic gas into her. Sian was too drugged up to move. Just then, Dongjia walked in for some assistance. Sian locked eyes with her, begging silently, but Dongjia thought she was just having a routine surgery, completely missing the SOS vibes. As she was about to assist the director, Dongjia accidentally knocked over a container, and out rolled a blood-soaked head to talk about a shocking twist. Dongjia was frozen in shock, and immediately the director shouted a stern command to stop. It was only after she stepped outside that Dongjia dared to burst into tears, having always believed up until then that Sian was merely a mentally ill patient.